pretty crazy to have such a beautiful view of Half Dome and be looking at something else, but this waterfall is awesome. All right, I am at the Yosemite Falls parking area. I'm gonna do a hike up to get close to Yosemite Falls. You can see it right there in the background. All right, so this trail starts right near Camp 4. It looks like it's 3.5 miles up to the Upper Yosemite Falls. I don't know that I'm gonna have time to do that, so we're just gonna go up as far as we can and see what we can see. So the Gaia GPS app has this trail as green in parts and orange in parts and red in parts. So I think red means steep. So yeah, we'll see, but looks like there will definitely be some elevation gain because, you know, we're climbing up there so we can get a better view of the falls. So, all right, here we go. All right. So no pets allowed. Shows you the distances there. So, all right, we'll go up as far as we have time for. So far, it looks like the trail is well maintained, but there are steps, and it does look like there's going to be some steep areas. So keep that in mind. All right, so far the trail has been lots of switchbacks and these steps, so it's not bad, but definitely be prepared to climb, and I would wear hiking boots, running shoes at minimum, but I probably wouldn't wear running shoes. Maybe trail running shoes would do the trick. Got a view of Half Dome off in the distance there from the trail. It's pretty cool. All right, you can see we've got lots of steps to climb still. So I ended up changing my pants. I put on hiking pants instead of the jeans I was wearing before I started climbing, or before I started hiking up the trail, and I'm glad I did. They're a lot lighter and definitely more comfortable. The other thing, I also put on a clean pair of socks. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's mental, but there's just something nice about having a fresh, dry pair of socks when you start out on a strenuous hike. All right, still climbing up this path. Lots of switchbacks. All right, we're almost to the top of the switchbacks. The trail, I think, levels out a little bit after that, so once we get there, we'll check that out and decide how much further we're gonna go. All right, we got past, I think, most of the switchbacks. Trail looks a little bit less intense in this section, so hopefully can make up a little bit of time. All right, zooming along here now. The trail has leveled out a bit. Aren't quite as many switchbacks, but I know there's another steep, intense part coming up. That's pretty cool. Looking down on Yosemite Valley. There's actually a little church over there. So that's interesting. All right, got to a pretty steep spot here after the trail had leveled out. We got into some steep switchbacks again, so you get a little bit of a break, but not too long. Remember to bring water. So the trail is hard work, but it's worth it. All right, so I am here at Columbia Rock. It's pretty cool. You have a great view of Yosemite Valley. You can see Half Dome there behind me. I'm going to turn the camera around. It's kind of straight down almost into the valley. Fortunately, there's a railing here, so it keeps you a little safe. I am going to push on to Oh My Gosh Point. I think I can get there relatively soon, and then I have to start working my way back down. You can continue on to the Upper Falls, but I don't think I'm going to have time to do that today. We'll save that for another video. So, all right, let's keep going. So that sign there is telling you not to take trail shortcuts because it damages the ecosystem. So the trail from Columbia Rock to Oh My Gosh Point doesn't look too bad. There are still some of these steep steps though, so trip's definitely not over yet. But I think at least going to where we're gonna go, I think the hardest part seems to be that area right at the beginning with those switchbacks going straight up. I know it can get really tiring, but here's a good example of why you need to keep paying attention even on the way down. This route looks like it was designed to trip people, so just be careful. All right, this area here kind of seems like a leisurely stroll compared to where we were before, so take advantage of it. I think we're gonna hit another steep part before we get to the lookout point that we're aiming for. All right, so I won't be thrilled with this on the way back, but pleasant surprise, we're actually headed downhill. So there you go. Just keep going, it's worth it. All right, there it is. That's what we've come looking for, Yosemite Falls. All right, and just so, there's another one of those tripping routes. And just so you all aren't disappointed, we have another staircase up. But I talked to somebody along the trail, they said we're getting close. All right, there it is. All right, this is really cool. We just got here. I think we're looking at Upper Falls there. I got to get a little closer to figure out exactly what's going on here, but I believe Lower Falls is kind of behind this bush. So let's head down. All right, so this is really cool. You can see Upper Falls from a ways away, and I'm continuing to kind of make my way down. So I checked the map. Behind me, what we're looking at is Upper Falls, and then I'll show you in a second, but there's something called Middle Cascades, which is kind of those smaller cascading falls under Upper Falls, and then Lower Falls is below that. So we're gonna keep heading over, check it out. All right, it's pretty cool. You can see Upper Yosemite Falls and Middle Cascades there in the bottom right of the frame. Just for scale, you can see some people walking on the trail there in the bottom left. So I found this trail that veers off to the right as you're going in to the falls. And I'm guessing this is how you get to Oh My Gosh Point. I didn't see this trail earlier, but that would make sense. So I'm gonna check it out a little bit here. All right, a little treacherous and steep here. Definitely want to be careful. Quite a drop off on the side to the right there, but let's get around here. Ooh, I see a railing, that's a good sign. Okay, here we are. Wow. So, okay, this is wild. This is definitely worth it. Yeah, let's take a look here. Okay, so we are at Oh My Gosh Point. It's pretty wild. I walked right past the turnoff for this trail the first time. It's not that it's hard to find. I just didn't know that I was supposed to be looking for it, I guess. You definitely have to be careful coming down to this point where the railing is. These rocks are pretty treacherous, and there's a railing here, and you know, I was leaning on it, then I realized I probably shouldn't put too much confidence in that railing, but yeah, I mean, this is incredible. So if you can do it, I highly recommend doing the little short jaunt down off the main trail to get to this lookout point, because it's really cool. It's pretty crazy to have such a beautiful view of Half Dome and be looking at something else, but this waterfall is awesome. All right, so I think this is a good place to wrap this video up. Thanks for joining me along the hike up to Yosemite Falls. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us. We're trying to grow the channel to get outdoor content out there, make it accessible to people, and help get people outside. So really appreciate it if you subscribe, and please leave a comment if you've been here. Let me know what you think, and let me know if there's any other, can't miss hikes in Yosemite that I should try out. All right, thanks everybody. See ya.